It's been widely reported that for years now, the CIA was providing arms, intelligence, money, and other types of support to these armed militants who were working hand in hand and who are working hand in hand, and oftentimes under the command of Al-Qaeda.
The Pentagon war planners have rightfully said that 90% of modern warfare is informational. That's why it's more important than ever that all of you watching subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter at Real Alex Jones, because InfoWars is the front line of the fight. And without your help and support, we will fail. With your support and with your prayers, we will be victorious against the globalists together.
If you are listening to this transmission, you are a Russian agent. You work for Vladimir Putin. No, of course, that's total fake news. You are the ones that got Trump elected, the American people that have been forgotten by Hollywood, that Hollywood hates, that the Washington establishment hates. They don't want you to have a dream. They don't want you to be a sovereign citizen. They want you to go into the world government, capitulate, and hand over the privilege of the great American lifestyle. Well, we were talking about in the last segment, Donald Trump talking about the CIA operation going on in Syria to arm terrorists that's anti-Assad. And it really goes beyond that, though. I think that this is a CIA operation that was currently operating in Syria to arm anti-Assad rebels. But this was a CIA operation that was decades old, decades in the making, has been guilty of starting proxy wars in the Middle East for years. Trump has shut that down. Of course, the left doesn't want to point out that goodness of President Trump. They don't want to point out the fact that President Trump is trying to stop proxy wars in the Middle East. And you've got President Trump talking about this on Twitter, the left freaking out, even though McCain posts on social media literally him pictured with these people that we're arming that are terrorists. But Tulsi Gabbard has come out and made a statement. She was on Fox's Tucker Carlson supporting Trump's ending of the CIA program that was arming terrorists in Syria. Here's that clip.
Syrian people have been crying out for peace for so long, and the media completely is missing the point here about what is being reported, that Trump is ending this CIA program as you described. But for the benefit of your viewers, let's talk about what the CIA program actually was. It's been widely reported that for years now, the CIA was providing arms, intelligence, money, and other types of support to these armed militants who were working hand in hand and who are working hand in hand, and oftentimes under the command of Al-Qaeda in Syria. So this isn't a matter of like we're giving weapons to people, but they end up falling in the wrong hands. We are directly arming armed militants who are working under the command of Al-Qaeda, all in this effort to overthrow the Syrian government.
That is grotesque. I'm honestly and sincerely confused. Why would anyone defend this?
It is this addiction to regime change. And this idea that somehow this is what must be done, again, without actually looking at the fact that we have been providing direct and indirect support to Al-Qaeda, this very same terrorist group that attacked us on 9/11 and that we are supposed to be continuing to be fighting against and trying to defeat. And the thing that should make everyone feel sick is that people would rather support directly and indirectly Al-Qaeda than actually give up their regime change goals.
So you are a progressive Democrat from one of the most liberal states in the world, agreeing with Donald Trump on this specific piece of policy. What kind of reaction do you get from your fellow Democrats in the House?
Look, for years, even through the Obama administration, I've been advocating to bring about an end to this program, and I'm continuing, actually, through the introduction of my bill, the Stop Arming Terrorists Act, to make sure that our government does not use taxpayer dollars to provide this kind of support, whether it's weapons, intelligence, or money, or anything else.
You got the Democrats who couldn't win an air hockey match against a ghost. Why aren't they trying to force someone like Tulsi Gabbard up as their next leader? Why aren't the Democrats forcing Tulsi Gabbard up as the next leader of their party?
I don't know what else she stands for, but I tell you what, it's a good example when somebody speaks the truth. regardless of what party they're in, regardless of any other labels or identity of that person. We need to support them when they're saying the truth. And this is an example. Tulsi Gabbard is very articulate, very knowledgeable about what's going on there. She's speaking truth to power about this. I trust people who will say the truth, even if I disagree with them on issues. And she's, as he pointed out, progressive, who would probably disagree about health care. But I know that I could have a discussion with her, and maybe I could persuade her. And that's the way that I feel about Donald Trump on issues that I disagree with him on.
No,
on core
David.
issues I agree with him. I think it's important that we have honest people.
No, David, no. We're going to give you Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi and Maxine Waters. That's who we're going to give you.
John Boehner.
What the aging process is when the cell replicates, we lose a little bit of our telomeres. Telomeres are the little cups on the end of our chromosomes.
And when it runs out, you start dying. Secure your DNA force today at InfoWarsLife.com.